welcome to another Checkpoint Bedtime story. With me, Tamar Asfahani.
And me, the 90s.
Yes, the 90s.
Jumpers on point. Good evening, children. And welcome to another bedtime story. We hope you're snuggled down and ready for bed.
Yes, get cozy and get ready, because today's story is all about your favourite birds.
Ospreys.
The angry birds.
The angry birds. You've probably heard of these. Where are we going with this? Hashtag #MeTooAngryBirds. Let's find out how evolved Tamar is. Always complaining. Oh, dude.
It gets better, I promise. I promise. Bear with us, kids.
You've probably heard of the hashtag #MeTooAngryBirds, always with much justification. Upset that some kind of piggy had upset them or taken away their eggs, the birds set about getting their revenge, Tamar.
Yes, they did. They had organised themselves into groups by colour and size and started on a quest to stop the piggies from bothering them anymore. They had to find the green piggies, or the Legion, as they called them.
There were so many eggs missing, and the birds were worried they wouldn't be able to find them. So the red birds, the labourers, as they called themselves, were the first to attack. They would fire themselves directly into the piggies and cause as much damage as they could, always looking out for those on the front line.
Then would
You're
come...
not in breach of any purder rules.
No, there's...
This story, is there?
No.
Okay,
no
great.
Purder. Plus, we're not off-commable, so it's perfectly fine.
Perfectly.
Then would come the yellow birds. They had slanty eyebrows and moved at a speed unparalleled to any of the others. Eyebrows?
Yeah.
They are. Did you not see these?
Yeah, they're angry.
Eyebrows. They're angry birds. They called themselves the liberal yellowbats, despite not being related to bats at all. These guys would swoop in fast and take what they could. Their force could change the tide of a battle, but usually they were as useless as they were fast.
And there were the bluebirds. They were canny, these birds. They fired out in triples and bamboozled the enemy. I see what you're doing. They denied everything they previously claimed and wanted to make sure that the piggies were watching them and not paying attention to the utter devastation they were causing. They all looked like they'd been given some kind of special powder that disengaged them from reality.
Michael Gove.
Okay. They were known as the conserver birds. They were very good at throwing themselves into and from glass houses, guys.
Yes, guys.
Guys! Thanks.
Think about that.
It's all
there.
It's all there.
But there was
what are the piggies then?
What?
Are they... I think I know. Are they the greens?
Well, no.
But why aren't they the greens?
No, they're the public.
I think you must trick them, mate. The greens.
No, the green. We need to give them a green. Look, just follow the story. The story carries on. But there was another secret special bird, the big, heavy and dangerous blackbird, the reformer birds. No one had seen these birds before, but when their eggs started to disappear, they rallied together with the rest of the birds in order to take out the piggies.
So there they were, the birds. Are you sure we're not going to get some kind of compromise? Okay, the birds of Rovio, who went out to change the world and claim back their children. They were ready to peck the living daylights out of the piggies, literally eviscerating them with their savage bills. All they needed to... Did you do something about bills? You must have had something about getting bills through Parliament.
No, I should have.
All they needed to do now was find them.
I only wrote it before.
Should have been about the Greens.
Should have been about the Greens. Well, they're not going to do anything.
Oh, right, exactly, because they've been marginalised.
Look, we need
it's fine.
change.
Go on.
Change right now.
Agree.
It's just, it's not going to happen. And that turned out easier than... Sorry. They were looking... They're finding the piggies. And that turned out easier than they did.
I'm sorry if I break the thread with my interruptions.
No, it's fine. It's just,
Sorry.
Children don't know what's going on.
Of course.
And that turned out easier...
If the interruptions are a problem, just say it.
No, they're not.
Absolutely knock it on the head, mate.
No, they're fine.
Right.
And that turned out...
It's good.
And that turned out easier than they'd expected, as the piggies were pretty stupid. The Legion had decided to hide in plain sight, except they weren't hiding. they were hoarding the birds' eggs in bizarre constructs. It wouldn't take long for the birds to take them down.
I don't get this bit either.
Well, they construct.
What's a reformer?
The Greens.
No!
The reformer birds. The reformer birds are all the other parties that we can't.
What, like a change thing?
Well, I don't know.
Party,
That's not really a party.
Brexit
That's
Party,
just,
Greens, you're lumping all of them together?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. In the grand scheme of majority, SNP even falls under there. Don't feel bad.
Wow! Hello, Scotland!
Go on. Look,
I did not write this.
This was written by Rory Stewart.
Roy Stewart. Everybody loves Roy Stewart.
He's an
What an
independent
incredible politician.
He's
I'm Roy
independent.
Stewart, and I'm running around through every borough of London to meet the people and tell them I'm passionate about their city. Sorry. Anyway, how are they going to do that, whatever it was? Doesn't matter. Well, simple. The birds had constructed a massive slingshot that they brought along with them in order to launch themselves at the precarious buildings that had been built.
Yes, their wings and gravity didn't seem to have done much damage when they'd attempted to take down the chauvinistic legion the first time
God,
round.
I forgot you'd done all of that bit. As they smashed their way through the different worlds, the birds were able to rescue many of their eggs, but they noticed that the more they saved, the more birds were claiming that their eggs too had been stolen. The Legion of Piggies was being defeated, but where had they hidden all the eggs?
It was the bluebirds that insisted that there were more to find. They were
Wait, are we
persistent.
doing immigrants now?
No.
What is this then?
No.
What is this then?
This is fake news, post-truth,
I do not.
distraction tactics. It'll make sense. It'll make sense.
Top tip, right first thing in the morning, not last thing at night.
I just literally finished this.
Okay.
And I started writing it 5 minutes before you arrived.
Yeah.
It was the bluebirds that insisted that there were many more to find. They were persistent in their claims and convinced the rest of the birds to join them on their quest. Coalitions. Not for peace, but for more destruction. It was as if they weren't interested in anything but their own agenda.
But the Tories haven't done a coalition.
Excuse me?
Yeah, well, historically,
Yeah.
but they're not talking about coalition now.
No, not now. But, we're not predicting the future.
The
We're
other
taking-
birds, being supportive and caring for their kind, decided to stand by the bluebirds as they left a trail of destruction behind them. They had no choice but to take their slingshots with them. Bearing this cross on their back, they pushed on forward until they reached the King Piggy, which is, I don't know, Joe Swinson, the speaker? What?
I don't know either. I just wrote it. His stronghold was, well, strong. It was going to take a lot of
And held.
strength and teamwork
And
from the
holding.
birds, all of them, to take down the castle. And they were sure that when they'd smashed through and defeated the king, there would be all of the eggs that the bluebirds had claimed were taken from them.
Is the king like
You're trying
the
too
media or
hard.
something?
You're trying too hard.
You're not trying hard enough. So they prepared themselves. Each bird prepped itself, helping each other launch themselves into oblivion with blind righteousness. As the labourers pummeled the outside, the liberal yellow bats started taking out the foundation, but it was the conserver birds that were the most useless of them all.
Yes,
Which is fair, because they only do glass, and it's great that they do the glass.
yes, with no glass or anything shatterable.
Right.
Well done. The conserver birds made the other birds do the dirty work and started blaming them for the failures of taking down the castle.
What is the castle in this allegory?
Previous, the NHS, if you like, or the government, or
Well, then why would the labourers birds be having a go at?
well, they're
the
not. They're
NHS?
trying to. They're not. Look, it doesn't matter. Look, we're just.
Well, I mean, if you're going to embark on a convoluted metaphor,
And I
you
think
can
the
see
point.
it through.
The point is convoluted. Well
thank-
done.
Right.
Convoluted.
Well, I can
that is the
nod
key
as
word.
well.
Excellent.
It's been really great.
They screeched and taunted the other birds, but refused to get their hands dirty.
Suddenly there was a heavy, heaving drone from above. Lo and behold, the reformer birds were attacking, whatever they are, and blowing chunks from the Legion King Piggy, whoever he is, his castle, whatever that is. Before long, the place had fallen to rubble, leaving nothing but the sound of the chattering birds.
They searched and searched for their eggs, but the conserver birds had been lying. There were no eggs, or so it seemed.
We don't even know what they are.
They had lost many a bird in the process, but the conserver birds seemed not to care. Instead, they insisted that the piggies had moved their eggs elsewhere. Panama.
Oh, so the eggs are money
Yeah, they are now.
since that sentence. That sentence saying Panama.
Yeah, yeah. What's your name?
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Don't think too much about it. It's a kid's story.
The other birds looked around and decided to head back with the eggs, money, they'd already saved. They weren't interested in taking the trip across the world to chase fantasy eggs. Fantasy egg? Oh, that sounds like something you buy in Thailand. They dispersed and each went back to their nesting ground.
And that is the end of the story.
An underworked parable for our times.
Good night, children.
Whatever.
We hope you sleep.
No, we don't.